So what's interesting is Weston Price, again, he found that when these particular cultures, let's say these remote sort of groups that were towns in Switzerland, they would purposely save the richest fat and milk and butter from the spring-fed cows who had the richest, greenest grass because it had the highest content of these fat-soluble vitamins, A, D, K, for a young couple who's planning on having a family. It would help them with fertility. As it turns out, the grass has the chlorophyll that the animal then can convert to K2 that we need. Well, what does K2 do? K2 is like the gatekeeper in how it basically allows calcium to go in and out of bone. It works in concert with vitamin D and vitamin A, both of which, particularly vitamin D, we're almost universally deficient in our culture. So when you have this rich source of fat-soluble vitamins, primarily D, K2, and A, the body can manage calcium in and out of bone, but it also does this. The cartilage, in particular the nasal septum cartilage, there's a protein called matrix GLA protein, which maintains the softness of that cartilage. And that allows the midface, to grow properly forward. If the cartilage is prematurely stiffened, it acts like a tether from the midface not being able to develop. How do we know that? Sort of a tragic, unintentional human experiment. There were mothers who were given warfarin, an anticoagulant, right? It blocks vitamin K pathways. And these children developed a syndrome called Binder's syndrome, which primarily manifested as severe midface hypoplasia. So there's direct human evidence of the power of K2 and how it influences cartilage, nasal septal cartilage, and how that influences the growth of the face. Well, when we went to factory farming mid part of the last century and started going to grain-fed for efficiency's sake and factory farming and putting out higher output of quantity of meat, because the cows got fatter, got quicker, the meat was readily available, well, guess what? That subtracted the K2 right out of the diet because they were not eating rich green grass. They were not grass-fed. And so we, in our current state, we really can't synthesize K2 because our gut microbiome has been damaged. There's a way you can convert it. So we can recycle K1. We can't get K2 unless we get it externally. So if you had, say, cod liver oil or Japanese natto, which nobody likes, or some of the organ meats, you could get K2, but we don't really have that in our diet as much. And certainly if you're eating grain-fed poultry and beef and so on, you aren't getting K2. My contention, as it is of others, that has changed the nature of the midface. That's one of the factors in this deficiency state of the midface.